Hello everyone, welcome to Statecraft IS Academy. Our first topic of discussion is Broodex cicadus. The term brood here refers to the population of cicadas that is isolated from other populations because of the difference in their years of emergence or locality. Also, they are found in Pennsylvania, North Virginia, Indiana, and the eastern Tennessee. And these cicadas, they are basically insects and they live underground for an extended period of time, around 13 to 17 years, and they feed on the roots of the trees, both underground and above it. And they are not basically harmful, they do not bite or sting, but when the males sing, their collective chorus can reach up to 100 decibels. Also, the males emerge from the underground once they become adults, which take about 17 years. And these cicadas can't emerge as adults until the weather is warm enough. Also, they are very useful insects. They prune mature trees and also aerate the soil, and once they die, their bodies serve as an important source of nitrogen for the growing trees. Next, we'll talk about the Open Society Statement. So, this Open Society Statement was adopted at the end of the G7 session, which was titled Building Back Together Open Societies and Economies. So, this joint statement was signed by G7 countries, India, South Korea, Australia, and South Africa. And the Prime Minister Boris Johnson has called them Democracies 11. So, there are basically 11 countries, include G7 countries, India, South Korea, Australia, and South Africa. So this Open Society Statement, this reaffirms the values of freedom of expression both online and offline, and as a freedom that safeguards democracy. Also, the politically motivated internet shutdowns are considered as threats to the freedom and democracy, and it has also affirmed that there should be human rights for all, both online and offline, as set out in the Universal Declaration of Human Rights and other human rights instruments, and also any opposition to any form of discrimination, so that everyone can participate fully and equally in the society. Next, we'll talk about the Prosteria lalji. So this is basically a 15-meter tall tree that belongs to the genus of coffee family and was recently found in the Andaman Island. And this tree is distinguished by a long stem with a whitish coating on the trunk and oblong ovate leaves. Important thing to note is that it is a critically endangered plant. Next, we'll talk about Global Livability Index. So recently, Auckland, which is in New Zealand, has topped this index. And this index is released by the Economist Intelligence Unit. So, these reports are very important from prelims perspective, as usually there's always one question that comes from this reports, as for example, who has released the Global Livability Index, and there'll be 4 options such as Economist Intelligence Unit, World Economic Forum, World Bank, UNESCO. So these questions are very easy. So remember such reports and the the organization that has released it. Also, the criteria on which they analyze such reports are important. So in this case, they assesses the locations that provide the best and the worst living conditions around the world, and around 140 cities are assessed, and they take into account more than 30 qualitative and quantitative factors, which are spanned in 5 broad categories, which include stability, healthcare, culture and environment, education, and infrastructure. Also, due to the pandemic, they have added new indicators such as stress on the healthcare resources, as well as restrictions around local sporting events, theatres, music concerts, restaurants, and schools. Each factor in a city is rated as acceptable, tolerable, uncomfortable, undesirable, or intolerable. And this factor-wise scores are provided, which scales from 1 to 100, wherein 1 is considered intolerable and 100 is considered ideal. So talking about the findings, the top 5 livable cities include Auckland in New Zealand, Osaka in Japan, Adelaide in Australia, Wellington in New Zealand, and Tokyo in Japan. Whereas the 5 least livable cities include Damascus in Syria, Lagos in Nigeria, Port Moresby in Papua New Guinea, Dhaka in Bangladesh, and Algiers in Algeria. Talking about the Economist Intelligence Unit, so it's a research and analysis division of the Economist Group and was founded in 1946. It is headquartered in London, UK. Next, we'll talk about the Envision mission. So we had recently heard about a mission of NASA for Venus. So European Space Agency has also announced its Envision mission, which will act as the next orbiter that will visit the Venus. So this Envision mission, it's an European Space Agency mission, and it will also include contributions from NASA. And this spacecraft will take about 15 months to reach Venus, and this spacecraft will carry a range of instruments to study the planet's atmosphere and the surface, monitor trace gases in the atmosphere, and analyze its surface composition. And this will follow another European Space Agency led mission to Venus called the Venus Express. So earlier Venus Express was also launched that focused on atmospheric research and pointed to volcanic hotspots. Other missions related to Venus include, as we discussed before, of US, which was two new robotic missions, Da Vinci Plus and Veritas. Also, earlier missions included Pioneer Venus 1 and Pioneer Venus 2. In case of Russia, there is a Venera series of spacecrafts, which includes and also Vegas 1 and Vegas 2. In Japan, there is a Akatsuki spacecraft that has been studying the planet's atmosphere since 2015. Talking about India, India has also planned to launch a new orbiter named Sukriyaan to Venus in 2024. Next, we'll talk about Ram Prasad Bismil. So, as we all know, he was a freedom fighter. He was a revolutionary activist, and he was born in 11 June 1897 in UP. He was also associated with Arya Samaj. Arya Samaj was founded by Dayanand Saraswati, and he wrote powerful patriotic poems in Urdu and Hindi under the pen names of Bismil, Ram, and Agyat. Basically the ideals of freedom and revolution got first ingrained in his mind after he read the death sentence passed on Bhai Paramanand. This Bhai Paramanand was the founder member of Gadar party, and he was an Indian nationalist and also an Arya Samaj missionary. Talking about Bismil's works in organization, he organized Matrivedi and Shivaji Samiti. He also formed the Hindustan Republican Association with the leaders like Bhagat Singh, Chandrasekhar Azad, and Sachin Sanyal. He also participated in Mainpuri conspiracy of 1918, in which police found a few young people, including Bismil, selling books that were not prescribed by the government. Also, he participated in the famous Kakori conspiracy of 1925 with Asfaqullah Khan and Roshan Singh to protest against the British rule, and they decided to loot a train in Kakori near Lucknow. So this revolutionary activities are also important, and their timelines and the all the conspiracy that took place. Some took place in Punjab, some in Bombay. And different people were involved in it. So it's important to note all that. They can be important while writing answers or also during prelims as well. And talking about Bismil, he also published a pamphlet titled Deshvasiyon ke Naam and distributed it along with his poem Mainpuri Ki Pratigya. He also wrote anthem for the freedom fighters such as Mera Rang De Basanti Chola and Sarfarosi Ki Tamanna. Next, we'll talk about the submission on agricultural mechanization. So, recently, the Government of India has released the funds for various activities of the farm mechanization under the submission of agriculture mechanization scheme. So, first we'll discuss what agriculture mechanization means. It is basically a process of replacing humans and animal labor with the machines in the agriculture sector, and this can be done through the use of tractors, threshers, harvesters and pump sets, etc. Talking about the scheme was launched in 2014-15 by the Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare. Under it, the subsidy is provided for the purchase of various types of agriculture equipment and machinery to the extent of 40 to 50% for states other than northeastern region states, and for northeastern region state it is around 100% limited to 1.25 lakh per beneficiary. Also, the Agriculture Ministry has developed a multilingual mobile app and custom hiring centers, farm machinery, which connect the farmers with the custom hiring service centers situated in their locality. It also aims to increase the reach of farm mechanization to small and marginal farmers and to the regions and difficult areas where the farm power availability is low. Its objective include basically promoting the custom hiring centers and high-tech hubs of high-value machines to offset the adverse economies of scale arising due to small and fragmented land holdings and high cost of individual ownership. And also it will create awareness among the stakeholders. Next, we'll talk about the heritage tree. So, the Maharashtra government has proposed the amendments to the Maharashtra Protection and Preservation of Trees Act of 1975 to introduce the provision for protection of heritage trees. So, these trees are basically those which has an estimated age of 50 years or more, and it may belong to specific species which will be notified from time to time, and the Environment Department will, in consultation with the Forest Department, will issue the guidelines to determine the age of the tree. And talking about the compensatory plantation, so this basically include planting the number of trees equivalent to the age of the trees to be cut, and the saplings are required to be 6 to 8 feet in height while planting, and they'll undergo geotagging with 7 years of caring period. Also, there is an option of monetary compensation instead of compensatory plantation. Next, the tree authority. So, as per the amendments, tree authority will be formed in local civic bodies and social councils, which will take decisions regarding the protection of the trees. And they'll also ensure tree consensus to be carried out every 5 years along with the counting of heritage trees. And this tree authority starts with increasing the tree cover in urban areas and protecting the existing ones. And a proposal to cut more than 200 trees of age 5 years or more will be referred to the state tree authority. And this state authority will also issue direction for the use of tree cess. And the fine amount should not be more than 1 lakh per tree in case of violations. So all for today guys. If you like the video, please like, share and subscribe. Thank you.